He's a mercenary. He has special operations experience. The assumption is that he was in Air Force Special Forces. He was a PJ. So those guys, essentially, when a plane crashes or there's a mission where other special operations operators are pinned down or seriously injured, these guys jump in and provide tactical care, medical care to the down pilot or the wounded. Just the connecting point of him being a battle-hardened warrior, and with no fear, and willing to be the one who raises his hand and says, "This situation seems a bit crazy. The odds are stacked against us, but I know that we could somehow pull it off. I'm willing to put my life on the line to go rescue these people." And so that also resonated with me, and that was one of the reasons why I went into the military. After what happened in 9/11, I just felt I grew up in New York City in the Bronx. And so I watched the Twin Towers come down. And so, watching on the top of the roof of my building, seeing the towers come down and seeing, and just hearing the reports of so many people being killed and knowing people who were killed in the Twin Towers, I just felt helpless, and I felt like I needed to do something. And that's when I essentially joined the military about 8 months later. And so this idea of raising your hand and saying, you know what, I'm going to jump into a profession that could very well end my life, but I'm going to do it anyway. That essentially resonated with me as it relates to the character, him raising his hand to jump into this dire situation where, as I said earlier, the odds were and are completely stacked against him. He doesn't have any tactical experience, but he's a man with passion, and he's a man on a mission. His plane unfortunately ends up in this bad situation, and he has these passengers that he has to care for, and he's going to go above and beyond to protect his passengers and get them home. We have this saying that you got the scalpel and you got the hammer, where we're just a scalpel, we're precision, right? Because we have this training and this expertise. Where on the other hand, Brody Torrance is the hammer, right? So he's just he's just gonna get messy, and just if he has to beat a guy down or whatever, he's just gonna do it because he has that passion, he has that motivation, and he's working through motivation, whereas we're working through experience. I found Jerry as team leader to be a great coach. In every sports team, you got to have a good coach in order for the team to be successful. And he knows when to be light and joke around and pop his head in, but then he also knows when to be firm. And that's one thing I love about him. I brought my kids on set the other day, last week actually, and he was just so sweet with them and so graceful with them. And he did his voice from the How to Train Your Dragon, the character that he plays with my kids. My kids just lit up, But again, he brings that lightness. He knows when to bring that lightness. He knows when to bring that grace. But then he knows when to, hey, it's time to get to work. It's time to get the job done. And I think all of us as actors on the set, from all of the passengers to the mercs to even the bad guys, we all respect that about him, and we all enjoy that because we know when we come to set, we're going to get his best, and because we're going to get his best, we're going to give our best, and that's part of being a good coach. I think the biggest thing I'll take away from this experience is the power of collaboration, from the top to the bottom, and how it's good to find and work on projects where you're working with people who are collaborative. Gerard Butler has been extremely collaborative. The producers have been extremely collaborative. Jean-Francois, the director, who's an amazing director, he's been doing an amazing job. He's been extremely collaborative and receptive. There was one scene in particular where Jean-Francois was like, I want you to, when you shoot, I want you to shoot the guy 3 times. And I was like, but in reality, if I wanted to be an accurate shot, and I said, hey, Jean-Francois, I'll do exactly what you want me to do, but can I get my opinion on this? He's like, absolutely, I want to hear what you have to say. That's why I brought you here. And I was like, in reality, if I'm gonna take a precision shot, and if I really need to focus in and dial in, I'm not gonna shoot 3 shots rapidly. I'm gonna just shoot 1 shot. I'm gonna slow down, slow my breathing, get set, calm down on my trigger pull. And I'm going to take that 1 shot, headshot, take him out, and do that. You do that. He said, yes, I love it. And we did that, and it looked great, and it played so well on camera. And so but that goes back to collaboration.